let's deal with this thing to try to understand one thing. You can look at a population of the European Jews. I don't want to say Jews because we know that they're not the definitive people of the ancient world. We're talking about a modern creation. You see what I'm saying? That is only what, 500 or 600, 700 years old.
That's Ashkenazi.
Right. Well, let's just look at them. And let's look at the ones in America. We don't even have to even look at Israel. We don't even have to even look at Europe. Let's just look at America. And if you look at the Jews in America, they will probably be a severe minority based on how many black people we have. But there's one thing that is to understand about ruling things. And I'll give you 2 economic reasons. Wait. Ruling or becoming to the top of civilization does not necessarily denote that it has to be record numbers. You can have a people that's few that can live and rule on a quality of life that's so advanced that it rules the planet. We see that in the European in general. And we can see that in smaller pockets of communities. You see what I'm saying? In general, of people that's got their shit together. You see what I'm saying? They don't have to have major numbers. Major numbers. What is the law to say that major numbers has to be the pinnacle of whether we say we doing good or not? So in so many words, black people are doing good if you discount the masses of useless eaters out here.
Right.
And that's the problem what we have done. We have been bought into this notion that it's all based on how many numbers we have, and we don't realize the science is not based on how many numbers you have, because we can even look at the European in the way he does. He's outnumbered on the planet 11-1.
Well, something that, that Sister Lakshmi always say, a lot of times you say our people, and she say them niggas ain't your people.
They ain't your people. Like
you got to quit claiming all these people.
You got to quit claiming.
Just because they dark skin, brown skin, you got to quit claiming all these.
Right. See, this is the thing about it. This is the thing about it. As far as you have a demographic of a certain amount of people, and then you will just have people just fill up the landscape, and they might not fit into the demographic of the people who are actually in a better condition than what we think they are. You see what I'm saying? And the reason why we keep thinking that we are not at that particular level, because we keep adding the fucking dead ones, you see what I'm saying, who are just basically a part of a landscape. They're just mindless bodies.
You see the
halos on them.
You see, it's like mindless bodies. Let me give you another example. In a case study on black people, on the upper mobile level, it does better. We found this out within the past 100 years. At the turn of the century, they used to have these big families. And part of the big families they used to have, my great-grandmama had 16 children. And she was the exception. She sent them all to college. They was like first generation. We don't know how that happened, but that was some freak thing. But they used to have these big families. And as people started going more and more to a higher economic standard, to my black people, and education standard, the families started getting smaller. You see what I'm saying? Same thing with white folks. Same thing with white folks. The more economically enhanced they are, economically efficient, the smaller the unit of family goes down to. How many doggone children you see George Bush and the George Bush right now ruling, and he was a homemonger, love black women. He still ain't got nothing but what, 2 daughters? See what I'm saying? So my point here is we're counting numbers that does not necessarily mean success.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And that's the way the spirit world probably put it there. They gave you an excess amount of people that could be mowed down and plowed through, or go through, not only that, they go through the hardships in life based on economic starvation or what have you. You see what I'm saying? Because the more you have of them, the less you have to compromise of people in a greater number that's going to do some good, that's going to be valid. And I don't, so in one way, you can say you could be trained and look at that as elite. But then again, you could look at that as reality. You see what I'm saying? Case in point, like you said, we are successful. When you're saying that every major CEO in the country now is a black man.
Yep, it's major company, man. American Express, Merrill Lynch. You go on, man.
On and on and on. But now, if you want to keep a people on the downtrodden, the illusion of the downtrodden, you understand what I'm saying? You never report these things. You see, we fill every major position in this country. And like they say, all you got to do and look and see that this poverty thing and a lot of these things are mythology that we bought into. Go down to Harlem, not on a Saturday. Go to Harlem on a Monday morning around 12 o'clock, and you won't see nothing but thousands of black people walking around shopping on Monday. And I'm like, who can afford this? You know what I'm saying? I'm blown away. So my point here is a lot of this stuff that we're talking about is illusion. It's the nightly news reporting the poverty, reporting the shootings and the killings and all that type of thing. And it could just be normal in just a regular modern society. It's like Dick Gregory said, there's no such thing as black on black crime.
Well, yeah, because
he said, what about white on white crime? He said, you kill where you live.
Right.
So if you get a couple of white rednecks that kill each other, look, I'm going to give you an example. I live in Georgia. And we have Atlanta now is the inner city where all the black people are. And they used to have killings, but they had the Red Dog people came in and wiped out and broke the dope infrastructure so they could get the Olympics. And they never could, the dope infrastructure never could recover. So therefore the crime is not as, the crack and all that kind of stuff is not as bad in Atlanta because they broke it for the Olympics and it was never able to recover.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of the outskirts, all you hear is rednecks killing each other. You see what I'm saying? Killing each other, raping each other, white girls missing. Is that called white on white crime? Yes. You kill. So my point here is a lot of these things are a series of things where they're trying to create a mindset for a people to self-destruct. And a lot of this stuff might not be the way it is. Now, when you talk about, then again, when you talk about places like Philadelphia where they're killing each other, these are induced killings. Mm-hmm. So what you're dealing with here is nothing but a government program to say, look, we are actually trying to see when we want to take a city like New Orleans. Yes, you can do a Katrina, but